Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail. Hello. Thanks for coming to see me today. I am starting a new series today. It's called Try Something New Tuesday. And what I decided to do is I always save videos of things that I see when I watch YouTube. I'll save a video like, oh, I want to try this someday. And then I never do it. So I decided that for every Tuesday, I'm going to make a video trying something new that I haven't done before. Now, I did experiment with this just slightly before making this video because it's using beeswax. And I had ordered this from Amazon, and it's triple filtered beeswax pellets for candle and craft projects. And the video, the person whose video I watched was Janice Freeman, and I will link to her video, the one that I watched to figure out how to do this. I will link that below so you can see what she did. And then I'm experimenting a little more than what she did. But one of the things I was a little worried about was, would this wax come off on other things if I put this in a journal? So I just made some, and I made a couple of things, but I stuck this envelope that I made, just like a regular envelope, in this Sears Roebuck reproduction because it's a really soft, absorbent paper. And I put it in here, and I had heavy books on top of it. And I thought if it's going to come off, it would come off. It would leach onto this paper, and there's nothing. It didn't do it at all. Now, she had recommended that you leave it sit for a few days before you use it. So, and I didn't even, this was like the next day I put it in my Sears Roebuck catalog. And so this is just an envelope made. Now, this is and I'm going to do that first. This is Amazon packaging paper. She talked about crunching it up and putting lines in it, and then if you don't like it, iron it out. Well, even if you do that, it still shows, because I tried it. You can really see the white lines in here, and I ironed that after I had crunched it up. So I made an envelope like that. I made this little, like a glassine bag envelope. And I printed on it, and I found that I had used a solvent ink, which was StazOn. And then I used a pigment ink on this one, and it's a lot darker, and it shows up a lot better. This was VersaFine. This is a pigment ink that I used on here. So, as opposed to StazOn on here, so you can see it a lot better. So I'm gonna kind of show you how I made this in a little bit. Yeah, also she lined some of hers. Now this one you can see wax on it. This is I glued on some coffee dyed paper, but I ironed it. And so the wax came through. You can see that inside of here. You can see the wax. And she had made something like this. So I copied her and made this little thing out of some of this paper that was lined. I did glue on some of these. This is on cardstock. and it did not bleed through at all. She said she put a stamp on one of hers and it bled through. But I think that might be if you do it right away. So I'm going to show you how to make this a little later too if we have time. Another thing that I tried it on was this, which is a piece of copy paper that I coffee dyed, scrunched it into a ball and let it dry like that. And then when it was dry, I ironed it. And I took some of that and I waxed it. And I have this cut to make an envelope like this. And I can do that later. But I want to show you the process and what you do. This is an experiment I'm going to try. I took a piece of the Sears Roebuck and I glued it on here and I'm going to wax over it. I also have this paper bag and I'm going to wax that. So this is a piece of, and I have this folded. This is an old towel and it's all scrunchy from the wax already. So this is my waxing paper towel. Okay. Now I have an old iron that I only use for craft stuff. I wish it didn't have holes in, but they all have holes, but you do not use steam. I have this turned on to, yeah, it's hot, to about the wool setting. I don't think you need it higher than that. You'll see it melts pretty well. So what you do, this is a piece of that Amazon packing, is you take your beeswax and you sprinkle it on your paper. Now, you know, you can always add more if you need it. So I'm just going to sprinkle this. Some of these are clumped together. And you can also use your iron to kind of push it around. I'm going to just put this over here for now. And, okay. Grab my iron again. All right. Now you put your iron down. When it starts to melt it, you can see that right away. And then you kind of push it to the edges. I might even have more than I need on here. Now it does go through to the other side. Probably had a little more on there than I needed, and I see that my Sears Roebuck thing is showing what's through on the back side. Yeah, I definitely had more on here than I needed. And then you have to let it dry. And so what I'm going to show you and work with today is something that I didn't do today. I did it a few days ago because this has to dry and kind of cure, I think. I can see where I put the glue on here. Now if you want to, you can turn it over and you can iron on this side too. Now, I didn't scrunch this up. This was how it, it was scrunched up in my Amazon package. So this is the first piece done. I'm just going to set this aside. to do this bag. This is kind of a little bit of a thinner bag, and I took it apart. And I thought this would make kind of like more like a, when you wax it, it looks a little bit more glassine. Okay, I'm going to not use this much because I can always add more if I need it. Okay. I thought I should, you know, that the reason I did this ahead, I thought I should check to make sure it wouldn't bleed into other things, because I wouldn't want to show something and then it wrecks someone's journal. You might want to experiment a little bit with that if you decide to try this. It was funny because I ordered the beeswax and it came and I set it aside, and then I had to look all over. Where did I have that video? I knew I saved it. You know, this looks a little bit more like a glassine. It's going to be more transparent. It's not totally transparent, but I like that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do this one. Now, this is a pretty straightforward thing. I think that I've gotten some wax through onto the towel, and that actually it picks some of that up now that it's got that. Oh, this is fun. Now I need a little bit more. This stuff is really cool. When I did this, I made a Western journal. It was like the old cowboys. I've got a video flip through of it if you want to see it, but I used this paper in it. I had done some of the bigger size paper because the book was kind of a big book. And it really was cool in that journal. But I use it in other things too. Okay. Again, I'm going to just kind of do the back a little here. And that might take some of the excess wax off too. Okay. And then I'm going to let this dry. So, that's the process with the wax. Now, I want to show you, oh, there was one other one I wanted to do. I experimented with a couple of other things. She talked about using a napkin. I did a napkin. It's okay. It's more sturdy, but I wouldn't waste the wax on a napkin. Maybe on tissue paper. It was a little hard to do. It kind of stuck. And I don't know, I suppose you could use this for a page now. It's pretty sturdy. But I'm gonna play around with that a little bit. But I had seen something on Treasure Books, and she used glue and water. This is a piece that I did. And this piece, no, not that one. This one is made with some stamping on it. Now, I stamped on it before I put the wax on. So I did another piece, and this time I used the pigment ink, the VersaFine, and I used just a couple stamps, and I overlapped it. You don't get, because of the crinkles and things, you don't get perfect stamps or anything. I'm going to do this. I kind of liked the stamping on it because it gave it a little bit more, I don't know, just gave it a different look. Yeah, this with the VersaFine is a lot darker. So I guess it depends on what look you like. If you want to use more, you know, have it show up more. But it's fun to experiment. Move some of that excess wax over here. I got these all over the place now. Alright, turn this over. And there we go. A bit more. Now, I also think this would be good for ripping up and using, you know, in page edges and, you know, for decorations and things like that. All right, I'm going to turn my iron off and put that aside. Take my nice scrunchy towel off. Sweating underneath. I think I'll wipe this off just to make sure. Sorry for the noise. And then, okay. Now, pull this out. Now, for this, when you make one of these bags, you make it, like I wanted it 3 inches, so I made this 6.5. And then I did score it. I scored it at 1.5, because that's half a 3, and then 3, and then this one's 2.5, because then that way it will overlap like this, and this line will be right in the middle. Can't see it very good. Then I folded up the bottom and I folded down the top, and this one I folded down a little bit more. I didn't have it exactly cut in half. It's about the same size though. So once you do that, I scored it, and then you need to come in and you're going to cut away this bottom part here. And you cut at an angle like that. slight angle up to where that score line is, and then you can kind of do it right above the score line for the bottom because that's going to be covered up. So when I glue this, it's going to be like this, and this will be up here. You can either leave this like this or you can round it. I'm going to do the same thing with the top. This one I'm probably going to round the edges. So I'm not cutting this one at an angle like I did the bottom. I'm just cutting straight down along that fold line. You can just fold it too, but I did score it very lightly. Okay, and then let's see, stick this in and round the corner. All right, now I found that she said she used Fabri-Tac. I actually found that art glitter glue worked better. So I'm going to do a little bit of glue here. A little bit. Oh, I got a little bit of a rip there. I'll just put a little extra glue there. Okay. And it doesn't dry quite as fast, maybe, but it certainly does dry. And it's clear. And then you do your bottom. And put that up. I can see the sun coming in my window here. Okay. And then you have your little bag. If you don't like the flap as big, just cut it off. You know, you like this one's smaller. But this will dry, and this will be a very nice little bag to put in a journal. On this one, I'm going to make an envelope. I'm going to make a 4x6. So it tells me on my scoreboard here to do 4x6 is 8 1/4 round, and you start at 3 3/8. So that is about, let's see, here's 3/8. Okay. All right, you punch. Whoop, I'm going to take that out. You score. Where is it? Here it is. Then you turn this and up. Yeah, you line this up. I didn't do that score very well. I didn't get it all the way down. There, that's better. Now I can line that up with that. Punch. Score. Line that up with where I scored. Punch. Score. And one more. Punch. Score. That seems more than 4x6. More like 4x. I don't know. It's 3 by, I did something wrong, but it'll still work. It's not the size I thought I was going to get. Okay, so this is going to get folded in. lesson to measure it. Very good. Okay, now I don't like this point, so I fold it down so it's even with this. And then I'm going to cut that off. All right. And then this will go down. And I could use the punch on the envelope board. That goes way to the end. I measured something wrong. Okay. But it's still going to fit in a journal. It's still good. And then when I glue this, put a little glue on here. And a little on this edge here. Good enough. And I'm going to let that dry, and sometimes I slide something in here to make sure I didn't glue anything down. All right. You've got an envelope. Now this one is, I just cut a piece, and this is 8 1/4 long. What's this? This is about 3 5/8. What I'm going to do is, if I make it's about 3. And 3 plus 4 would be 7. I think I'm going to do the 5/8, 3 5/8. So now I've got this. Now what I did then is I started right here. I stitched down here, around here, up here, all the way around here, and ended back up here. So there's no sewing right here, but it is sewed all the way around the rest of the way. Okay. And I'm going to look, what time is it? It's about almost to 30 minutes. So I think you can figure that out. But this, after I stitched it, I took a little piece of fabric, glued it on. This is something that Janice had on her video, which I will have linked below. Put some eyelets in it. Put a piece of twine. And you just go around like this and then put that through the holes. I did tie a knot on the back of here, so this is not just loose. And then that holds that shut. And then just glued some pieces on it. This was made with one of these already stamped ones. Not as dark as the new one. Would be much darker. So it depends if you like the more subtle look. Use either a lighter ink or a solvent ink, and pigment ink if you want it darker. So I'll play around with those and make some other ones on another day. But this is what we have here. And I don't know what I did with that other one. Oh, here it is. This is my try something new. So I hope you're going to enjoy this series. It's, you know, not my original ideas. I can take my take on it, you know, and add some things. But I did get the idea from someone else, so I'm giving her credit. And it was fun. It was a blast. And I got something that I've been wanting to try for quite a while done. So I will be back next Tuesday with another new one. Meanwhile, I'm starting, I've always wanted to make an abandoned house journal. So I had some old pieces of a quilt. It was a quilt that was in our house when we moved, not this house, but the last house, when we moved in, and it was in bad shape, so I cut it up. And I am making some, I have to coffee dye it. But I'm starting, this will be the outside, and I have a picture of an abandoned house. I have some, I have to fix that up yet. But, you know, this is going to be on some stuff. I have this put underneath it. I might put a ruffle, some buttons, types of things. And that is Past and Pages is where I got the idea for this. So this, I'm not actually doing it for Try Something New, even though it is new, but I need to coffee dye some stuff, and then I'll be working on that, and I'll show you what I'm doing on camera. So for now, first Try Something New Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing your time with me today, and remember, do something every day that you love to do. It really will make you happy. And this is Carol saying,